Well, good morning, and welcome to the Daniel Saul Show, where you will witness sports talk and debate from yours truly, Daniel Sauls. Well, I have nothing else left to say. Let's get started! Well, good morning, and this topic today we're going to be talking about the Falcons. How far will the Falcons go with starting quarterback Desmond Ridder? Well, I'll tell you one thing. I watched Desmond Ridder all throughout college. Desmond Ridder is a proven leader. He is a winner. And I promise you, the Falcons will get to a playoff appearance. They will make one. Now, let me just tell you a few things about Desmond Ridder so that y'all don't think I'm crazy. In college, Desmond Ridder is a two-time AAC Offensive Player of the Year, 2020 and 2021. He was the AAC Rookie of the Year in 2018. He's a two-time first-team All-AAC, 2020, 2021. He also was the Birmingham Bowl MVP in 2020. Here's what gets crazy about Desmond Ridder. He's got 87 touchdowns thrown. 87 touchdowns thrown. Whoa. We're talking about a whole other animal right here. This is the same guy that threw for over 10,000 yards. New Orleans Saints. We're going to be talking about the Saints today, folks. On the Daniel Saul Show, make sure to go like, subscribe, turn post notifications on. As always, leave a comment, let me know what you think about this video, and tell me where you think the Saints are going to go this season. So, this question is today, will Derek Carr's Saints live up to the hype? I hope so, but I don't think so. But I'm going to just tell you a few things they did over the offseason that will give you some insight on what we're looking at for the Saints. They added Derek Carr. Derek Carr is a Pro Bowl quarterback. He's one of the best quarterbacks in football. They went and drafted Kendre Miller, which is one of the best running backs coming out of college last year. He played for TCU, and he was pretty dominant until he got injured, and he couldn't play in the championship game. Michael Thomas is back. Thank you, Jesus Christ, Michael, you're back. You've been a bum for the past 3 years. What the hell have you been doing? We need you back, because when healthy, you're a top 5 receiver. So we need you. So instead of being a bum, play. We really want you to play. You got a boo-boo on your toe and you want to be out for the season. Play. We need you. They added Jimmy Graham. I don't know why they did that, because he's a third string. If you look at the depth chart, he's a third string. Juwan Johnson's the starting tight end. I mean, why is Jimmy Graham here? I don't understand. So that happened. And then Kamara's situation. I'm not going to talk about Kamara's situation. That's not my place. But I will say this when it comes to the sports idea of it. Kamara suspended for 3 games. Kamara has 2 more games left of being suspended because they played against the Titans this past Sunday. So he will return against the Buccaneers on October 1st. And Saints defense is elite. Saints defense is elite. If you don't know the Saints defense and their players, I'm going to just tell you the best players on their defense. You got Cam Jordan, baby. Tyrann Mathieu, Marshawn Lattimore, Demario Davis. Those are some names that if you're a Saints fan, you should know it. If you're not, then you should at least know a few of those names, because those are elite players in the league. The Saints have depth. Let's not get that confused. They have depth. Like I just told you, Kamara's the second best running back in football when healthy. Michael Thomas is the top 5 receiver when healthy. They also have Chris Olave as a receiver. Derek Carr is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Kendre Miller is a good second running back, or third, because they just got Jamal Williams. But he's a really good running back. He came out of a really good school, TCU, who went to the championship game, even though he didn't play because he was injured. He's in the NFL, and I believe he'll do great things. Saints have depth, right? But basically, they don't have a good coach. Their coach isn't good, man. They don't have a good coach. If Sean Payton was here, they would probably be contenders to going to the Super Bowl. On Undisputed, Keyshawn Johnson went on and said that he believes the Saints are going to win the Super Bowl. Here's my thing with that. He brought up some pretty good points, and I'll give them to you right now. He said the Saints have the easiest schedule in football. They do. He also said that because of that, they're going to get out of the division. They might possibly. The only thing I got to look at is the Falcons, which I just said in my last video. The Falcons are definitely a big threat. Because I believe in Desmond Ridder and what he could do. But besides the Falcons, they're probably going to come out of the division. And he believes that they're going to get home field advantage because they have an easy schedule and they're going to run through the regular season, have home field, and then go through the playoffs because New Orleans is, no joke. And I live in New Orleans, so I know it's no joke. New Orleans is literally, without the Saints, New Orleans is dead. The Saints makes New Orleans. And when you're talking about that, he makes a good point. When you're playing and your home stadium hypes you up because of all the fans, that definitely is a big deal. But I don't know if it's a big enough deal to say that they're going to win the Super Bowl or get to the Super Bowl. So, with that being said, I don't necessarily think the Saints are going to get to the Super Bowl, but I'm pretty sure they'll get somewhere. They'll definitely get into the playoffs. But to be honest with you, when they played against the Titans didn't really use Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's a top 3 running back in the NFL. I don't know why they didn't use him. He is one of the best running backs in the NFL. Why didn't they use him? I don't understand that. He's the best power runner. And he gets tons of touchdowns. He breaks loose. He's crazy. And they didn't use him. So, without using Derrick Henry, the Saints barely beat the Titans. What if they had used Derrick Henry the whole game? I don't know if the Saints would have won that game. And I guess it is week 1. It's going to be a little rusty. I get that. But, they'll get better throughout the years. That's fine. But then we're going to go to what I think is going to happen to the Saints in the regular season. Here's my Saints record prediction. I have a win and loss column right here. And I'm going to tell you who they're going to win against and who they're going to beat. Or who they're going to win against and who they're going to lose against. And I'm going to tell you the record. So, I believe they beat the Titans. I believe they're going to beat the Panthers. They're going to beat the Packers. They're going to beat the Bucks. They're going to beat the Patriots. They're going to beat the Titans, or the Texans, the Colts, the Bears, the Vikings, the Panthers again, the Rams, and the Falcons the second time. I believe they will lose to the Jaguars, for sure. They'll lose to the Falcons the first time. They're definitely going to lose to the Lions. They'll lose to the Giants by a close game, I think. I think that'll be a pretty close game. And they always lose to the Bucks about once a season. So I think they'll lose to the Bucks one game. I think it'll be a blowout probably, But so I'm predicting they'll be 12-5. 12-5 is a winning record, obviously, and that is definitely a top 4 seed in the NFC or AFC. Whatever the team is, obviously, because if the Chiefs were 12-5, they'd be a top 4 team in the AFC. So the Saints are in the NFC, so they'll be a top 4, top 3 team in the NFC. So I think that's what the Saints are going to do. I feel like that's what I'm looking at. I'm really predicting that they're going to live up to a hype of, I don't know. I feel like they'll get somewhere, but they're not going to live up to hypes, like the hype and the expectation of what people like Keyshawn Johnson are saying. I feel like that's a little too much. I don't think they'll go to the Super Bowl. They'll probably get to the first or second round of the playoffs and lose, depending on if the Falcons are in there, because if the Falcons are in there, I feel like they'll beat them. If not, I feel like they'll get a little bit farther, but not to an NFC Championship game. Definitely not. But that's what I'm really looking at with the Saints. So that's really it for me. That's what I feel like the Saints are going to do. So the question is, will Derek Carr's Saints live up to the hype? If the hype is Super Bowl or NFC Championship game, no, they will not. But if it isn't, then sure, they'll live up to the hype. The hype of getting to the playoffs, maybe? Yeah. To a 12-5 record? Yes, they will. And that is my take. I'm Daniel Sauls, the host of the Daniel Sauls Show. And I'll be back with another video for the new Daniel Sauls Show.